Question 1. Tectonic plate relative movements. Pacific plate, Indian plate, African plate, Nazca plate. Divergent, convergent, transform, convergent. A3, B2, C1, D4. Pacific plate, transform. Indian plate, convergent. African plate, divergent. Nazca plate, convergent. Pacific plate, transform. Indian African plate, divergent. Nazca plate, convergent. Pacific plate transform boundary occurs where two tectonic plates slides past each other horizontally. The Pacific plate is a large oceanic plate that forms a transform boundary with the North American plate among the San Andreas Fault. Transform boundary are characterized by earthquake due to the friction between plates. Indian plate convergent boundary. A convergent boundary occurs when two tectonic plates move towards each other, often causing one plate to be forced below the other in a process known as subduction, and colliding with the Eurasian plate, which has led to the formation of the Himalayas. Convergent boundaries can lead to the formation of mountains and deep ocean trenches as well as the volcanic activity and earthquakes. African plate divergent boundary. A divergent boundary occurs when two tectonic plates move apart from each other, creating now the crest as magma rises towards surface. The African plate is a part of the East African Rift divergent boundary where the plate is splitting into the Somali and Nubian plates. Divergent boundaries are often associated with mid-ocean ridges and volcanic activities. Nazca Plate convergent boundary. The Nazca Plate is an oceanic plate that is subducting beneath the South American plate along the Peru-Chile Trench, forming a convergent boundary. The convergent boundary leads to intense seismic activity such as earthquake and the formation of Andes mountain range. Part else is known as grassland of Venezuela, the Llanos. Llanos is the correct term for the vast tropical grassland plains suited to the east of the Andes in Colombia and Venezuela. It is one of the largest grassland area in the world, covering an area of approximately 5,70,000 kilometers square. It is one of the largest grassland area in the world, covering an area of 5,70,000 kilometers. The Illinois are characterized by the seasonal flooding during the west season, which significantly influences its ecosystem and the way of life for the inhabitants and wildlife. This region is crucial for agriculture and livestock, providing significant areas for grazing and crop production due to its fertile soils. Sahara, the world's largest hot desert located in North Africa. Sahel, a semi-arid region of western North Central Africa extending from Senegal to Sudan. Campos, an instrumental used for navigation and orientation that shows direction related to the geographical cardinal direction. Which of the following deserts are located in South America? Patagonia deserts. The Kalahari Desert is located in southern Africa, not South America. The Thar Desert is found in northwestern India and Pakistan, not South America. Sonoram Desert spans parts of the United States and Mexico, not South Africa. Patagonia Desert, also known as Patagonia Steppe, is the largest desert in Argentina, which is in the South America. Kalahari Desert is located in the South Africa, covering parts of Botswana, Namibia, and South Africa. Thar Desert, also known as the Great Indian Desert, it is located in northwestern India and Pakistan. Sonoran Desert, located in the southwestern United States and northwestern Mexico. Match list one is select the correct answer using code below. A2, B4, C1, D3. Troposphere, weather phenomena. Stratosphere, radio waves. Deflector surface. Ionosphere, radio waves. Stratosphere, ozone layer. Thermosphere, aurora. Troposphere, it is the lowest layer. It contains most of our weathers, clouds, rain, snow. It extends upward from the troposphere to about 50 kilometers. It contains much of the ozone in the atmosphere. The temperature in stratosphere is highest over the summer pole and lower over the winter pole. Mesosphere, above the stratosphere is the mesosphere. It extends upward about 50 kilometers above our planet. Meteors burns up in the mesosphere. The coldest temperature in Earth's temperature, about minus 90 degrees Celsius, is found near the top of this layer. Thermosphere. This layer is found above mesopause from 50 to 100 kilometers. This is the warmest layer of the atmosphere. Aurora and satellite occur in this layer. Exosphere. This is the outermost layer of the atmosphere. It contains mainly oxygen. And hydrogen atoms, they are so few that they rarely collide. They follow ballistic trajectories under the influence of gravity, and some of them escape directly into space. Ionosphere is a very active part of the atmosphere and shrinks depending on the energy it absorbs from the sun. The name ionosphere comes from the gases in these layers are excited by solar radiation to form ions, which have an electrical charge. Due to the presence of ionized gases, the ionosphere can reflect radio waves directly into the sky back toward the Earth. Troposphere, weather phenomena, stratosphere, ozone layer, ionosphere, radio wave, reflector surface, thermosphere, aurora. Troposphere, tropopause, stratosphere, aeroplane, ozone layer, stratopause, mesosphere, mesopause, thermosphere, exosphere. Which of the following is are a result of devotional activity of the Himalayan river? 2, 3, and 4. Bridal canals, channels, alluvial fans, natural leaves. Devotional landforms are made by river sediments brought down by extensive erosion. In the upper course of the river, the depositional process leads to the formation of various depositional landforms through fluvial actions such as delta, levees, and floodplain. Alluvial fans and cone. An alluvial fan is a cone-shaped depositional landfall built up by streams heavy with sediment load. Alluvial fans are formed when streams flowing from mountain peak into the Fox Love lines of low gradient. Natural levees occur in the lower course of a river when there is an increase in the volume of water flow and downstream and flooding occurs. Natural leaves were points bars, some of the important landform borders to the floodplains. Natural leaves are to the banks of large rivers. They are lower, linear, and parallel ridges of the course deposit bank of river. It quite often cut into individual mounds. This is found when the movement of water pushes sediments to the side of the river and creeks. Braided channels. A braided channel consists of a network of river channels divided into multiple threads and separated by small and often temporary islands called yachts. Braided channels are commonly found where the water body velocity is low and the river is heavy with the sediment low deposition and later erosion of banks are essential for the formation of the braided pattern. River terraces. River terraces refers to surface related to old valley floor or chlorophyll levels. They may be bedrock or surface without any well covers or river terraces consisting of stream deposits. River terraces are basically products of erosion. They result due to vertical erosion by the stream to its own depression floodplain. These can be numerous states. They are found at different heights indicating former river bed levels. The river terraces refers to surface relating to old valley floor urban levels. They may be bedrock surfaces without any alluvial cover or alluvial terraces consisting of stream deposits. River terraces due to vertical erosion by the stream towards on deposition. There can be a number of such terraces. They are found at different heights indicating former river bed levels. The river terraces may occur at the same height in the Sahara, so in the case of terraces. The word the Sea of Tranquility associated with the which of the following celestial bodies? Moon. Sea of Tranquility. It is made up of a plane of dust particles and is on the rear side of the moon, which always remains dark. It is the landing size of Apollo 11, the mission that gave mankind its first ever back on the moon. It is a dark spot located in the northern hemisphere of the moon. The sea is not a body of water, but is a lower altitude plane. As a result of earlier period lunar volcanism, it produced with dark solidified lava. This atom used in the first artificial object to touch the moon surface was Soviet Union Luna 2 on 37 1959. First country to land on the moon, Soviet Union 1959. India's lunar mission is known as Chandrayaan program, launched in October 2008. It is operated until 2009. Chandrayaan 2 launched from Satish Dhawan Syndrome by July 19 with achieved crash while landing its Horizon mission built lunar orbital rover. Chandrayaan 3 became a response for successful sound on the moon's south pole. However, the lunar surface conducted scientific experiment, achieving both calendar rover and potential collecting data collection surface analysis. It is joint mission JAXA and ISRO to explore the south Whole of the region of the moon, Jaxa, Japan, and Mars iron rich red soil and the pink cell of Mars give it the name red planet for the satellite of Mars. Venus, this planet is nearest to the Earth and is also the brightest planet. It is also known as evening star or the morning star. It is like the Earth's inner size and mass. It has only the Earth's twin. Mercury is the planet of the 86 hot planet. Given cyclonic conditions are formed. Cyclonic conditions are not found when the atmospheric pressure is high and the temperature is low. Cyclonic conditions are not found when the atmospheric pressure is high and the temperature is low. Cyclonic conditions are not found when the atmospheric pressure is high and the temperature is low. Cyclones are generally associated with a low pressure system, not high pressure system. Winter rains, especially in North India, are influenced by western descent. These systems generally resemble anti-cyclonic conditions, characterized by low temperature and dry weather after western disturbance are an example of extratropical storm originating in the Mediterranean region, which brings winter rain to the north and northwestern India. High atmospheric pressure is a characteristic of anticyclonic conditions, not cyclonic ones. In anticyclone, the air is descending, leading to clear skies and stable weather. Cyclones, on the other hand, are suited to the low atmospheric pressure, rising storms and high altitude. Since the association infertile links cyclone high pressure. Western wind disturbance. Western disturbance are moisture-laden cyclone storms that originate in the Western region. They bring rain and snowfall to the northwestern part of India during the winter months. Air descends and spread outward. It typically results in clear skies, dry weather, and low wind speeds after the winter rains in North India. Anticyclone conditions often dominate, bringing cold and stable weather. Cyclones are low pressure systems that result in rising air and unstable atmospheric conditions. They are often associated with strong winds, heavy rainfall, and storm. Example include tropical cyclone, and extratropical cyclone. So carbonaceous rocks which produce coal and oil belongs to the category of sedimentary. Organic sedimentary rocks form from an accumulation and lithification of organic debris such as leaves, fruits, and other plants or animal materials. Example of organic sedimentary rocks include limestone, coal. Limestone is a sedimentary rock composed principally of calcium carbon or the double carbon of calcium and magnesium. Dolomite. It is commonly composed of tiny fossil shell fragments and other fossil debris. Limestone is a carbonate rock of organic origin found from skeletal remains of marine organisms. Limestone is usually grey, but it can also be white, yellow, or brown. Sedimentary rocks are formed by the process of weathering and sedimentation of or precipitation on the Earth's surface. Examples: sandstones, conker, shales, limestones, mudstones, laterite, etc. These rocks get their name from the Latin word sediment, which means settle down. These rocks are formed by the settling down of sediments. Sediments are the smaller particles or fragments that are formed by the breaking down of rocks when they roll down, by wind, water, etc. These sediments were when compressed and hardened. Paramount sedimentary sandstone is example. Sedimentary rock, it is made of grains of sand. The rocks may also contain phosphate plant made. Which of the following rock is a metamorphic rock? Dolomite is a metamorphic rock. Limestone with more than 10% magnesium is called dolomite, and the percentage of pyrite is called dolomite. Dolomite is mainly used as blast furnace flux as a source of magnesium salts and fertilizer in grass industries. Dolomite is distributed in all parts of the country. Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh, Jharkhand, Rajasthan, and Karnataka are the main producing states and contributing more than 90% of total production. Odisha and Chhattisgarh together account for about 7% of dolomite of India. India has only 8% of dolomite reserves are found in Maharashtra. Major mines of dolomites in Maharashtra, Ratnagiri, Nagpur, Yatnamal, metamorphic rock or that have been become challenged by intensity of pressure while forming. It is a very hot and pressurized conditions. Deep Madagascar's both sedimentary and igneous rocks can be changed into metamorphic rock can be formed by locally when rock is heated. Intrusion of hot molten rock called magma from the interior. Some examples of metamorphic rocks are generate marble slates and cause the marble slates and seals are formed after metamorphism. They change in the original and formed due to extreme temperature and pressure. The three types of metamorphic contact: regional and dynamic metamorphic. Contact metamorphic when the magma comes in contact with the already existing body of rock. Head in the correction of the theory of electromagnetism. A and C only. The theory of planetary explain the movement of surface correct. Earthquake opens occur at plate boundaries correct. Oceanic plates are generally thicker and considerably longer. Volcanoes are commonly found along the plate boundaries longer. Convergent plates move towards each other. Divergent apart from each other. Sea produce spreading protection zone hotspots.